The moment we have all been waiting for has finally arrived. Your Stanford Cardinal, for the first time in program history, led by Coach Barrington, have made it to the college football playoff. And today, we'll be facing off against Heisman winner DJ Lagway and the Florida Gators. In what is a win or go home situation, Cardinal have finally been given that game what they have deserved. But that has not always been the case. In media days leading up to this game, Coach Barrington had talked very plainly about how in the last 2 years the Cardinal have had games they well earned ripped away from them, dating back to last year where they were given Akron in a bowl game, a low-level New Orleans bowl. And then just a couple weeks ago, the Pac-12 Championship given to Colorado, well earned. But after a big rivalry win against Notre Dame in a gritty 5-field-goal battle, they got bad news. They thought win and in. Well, the Pac-12 committee, they had other ideas, giving it to Oregon, a team ranked below them. With the same record, Oregon did have the tiebreaker, but Colorado destroyed them in a little bit of some revenge for Coach Barrington, 59-21. And he had to say this: if you're going to have a team get blown out by such a wide margin, why give them that game? Why not give us that game? Was a Week 4 rematch really all that needed? Versus our Cardinal, who had yet to have a chance to face now number 1 ranked Buffalo. Well, your Cardinals still might have that chance, but it can only happen if we get through Florida, Nebraska, and Colorado gets the win either against NC State or the third matchup this season against the Ducks, and we find ourselves in the semifinals. But before we look too far ahead, we've got to focus in right now. In the first round of the college football playoffs, DJ Lagway, 3,400 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, completing just under 70% of his throws. Rushing the ball, he also leads them there with about 30 more yards on the same amount of carries as Trayon Webb, their running back. Receiving, they got Tank Hawkins, number 10, who had 1,200 receiving yards, 16 touchdowns. And they also had TJ Abrams, who had a really impressive year of his own, 832 yards, 7 touchdowns. They're going to spread this ball out. Defensively, Aaron Gates, he makes a lot of plays for their defense, 77 tackles. They also have Myles Graham, who gets well stuck in. In the backfield, we're going to have to keep an eye out on Josh Fernandez. He likes to pick up those TFLs. Sack-wise, they got LJ McCray. And you could even throw in John Kuntz there as well. Getting the interceptions, you got Jameer Grimsley and Myles Graham. There's a lot of big playmakers. Cardinal have to come prepared. And as for the special teams, maybe a slight break in Robert Wilkins, who's only 80% with a long of 46. But just as we've seen with the last handful of kickers we've faced, he's 100% on anything 49 yards or less. And for the Cardinal, they'll have the advantage of playing in front of their home crowd as we are underway. And returning this one down the middle, got a late start, and it will be starting back at the 16. Coach Barrington, does he have his team prepared in their biggest game in quite a long time? I'd say the last one would date back to one of their Rose Bowl victories, though arguably this one more important, as you got to win this one to even make it to that level. Parrish, he takes the carry. Rumbling, he picks up 11. A great start and a determined run from the running back. They go back his way, down the middle for 5. The running game really was the difference maker last week against Notre Dame. They're picking up right where they left off. Parrish, third carry, this time goes nowhere. Now brings up a 3rd and 5 here. Elijah Brown under center. Hard count. He gets someone to jump. Should be a free play. They go Haddad, but he's got the first down either way. The Cardinal can decline that penalty. They'll save themselves an extra 2 yards in that process. 1st and 10. Dropping back to throw, Blouse right side, gets the grab. Now starting to see a little bit of some variety from this offense, not just straight running every single play. Dropping back and rolling to the outside. Brown, he's got grass in front of him. He's going to take it down to the 30 before he slides down safely. There was a Gator chomping at the bit to get a big hit there. But 1st and 10 here for the Card. They bring the blitz, it's out to the side. Buck, he gets the toe tap in 2. Not the biggest game, but a clean game for the Cardinal. Now RPO to the outside, Haddad. Maybe 1. Slot corner there, pretty quick to collapse on it. Now Brown is making some changes here. He's got 2 spread either side. No hard count this time. Driving across the middle, Ed Keenan dropped it. He had the 1st down, no problem. But then he saw a linebacker sitting in. He just forgot to bring the ball with him. ETN will tack on a field goal, a little bit of a disappointing end to a strong drive. But taking the lead here in the playoffs is paramount, and that's exactly what they have done. But it's time to now see what this defense can do against the Heisman winner. Lagway, not exactly uncommon of him to throw an interception or 2. He has 8 on the season, but he starts with the RPO to the outside and a big gain, Tank Hawkins. You saw with the stats the kind of season he's put forth already getting the ball. Blitz here, Lagway has a man wide open. Gators drop it. And with a play like that, I don't know if Gene's going to see the field anymore. 2nd and 10. An absolute blown play, though right back down the middle they hand it off. Webb with little amount of people in front of him until he's 15 yards downfield. Gators into plus territory here as they will look to pass to the outside and caught. That is Abrams. Asher tried to rip it out of his hands, just gets there a little bit too late. They're getting everyone stuck in here early. And play action. Under pressure, Nelson forces the throw to the feet of Gene. We're given a second chance. Ball just comes up short for him. Can't blame him for the lack of a catch on that one. Back to the play action. Dumping this one off and a catch for 6. They find tight end Gavin Hill. A 3rd and 4. Trips to the left-hand side, 1 to the right. Defense only rushes 4 and dropped. Both teams having their slot receivers coming up empty on 3rd and manageable. So it will be a field goal attempt here to try to tie this game up. About a 45-yarder. And he's sending that one just inside the upright. Wilkins makes it 3-3. And both teams have had promising starts on offense, but disappointing plays have led to a tied game. We start at the 25, going back to Parrish, and he's got 3. They started with 3 straight carries his way. Do they start the next drive in the same way? Well, it was the option, but RPO pass was better. Blouse 1st down. Cardinal like normal, keeping everything kind of closer to the line here, letting the athleticism go to work for their players. Parrish, another short game. But how often they've gone his way, wonder if we'll see a little bit more dog in this one. 2nd and 9. Blitz is brought open downfield and caught Blouse. Not going to hit the spin, but a big gain nonetheless. Cardinal once again marching. They're down to the 37 following that grab. Single high safety to the outside and drop to dab. Just a little off the timing on that one, not by much. 2nd and 10, and following the blocks, Parrish, strong run for 4. The Cardinal are going to need more than that here on 3rd. They need 6. Bunch to the right-hand side. Play action, rolling, and out short. Looked like he was going for Haddad, but the hit takes it away. ETN back on out here. He's got the right angle, and he's got enough power. A 51-yarder for ETN. He stays perfect on the year. Both defenses bending but not breaking. What offense is going to find that big play? Gene had the opportunity for the Gators last time out. Webb, he takes the carry. Patient running, hops over. I think that was Hennessy. After all that, he gains 6, and we head to the end of the first quarter. 6-3. Pair of field goals here for the Cardinal. 1 for the Gators, though they're on their 2nd drive. And for the Cardinal, including their last game, both of these ones flying by. As we get the 2nd quarter underway, it is Webb And he's got the first down. It took that third effort. But he keeps the Gators offense moving here. 1st and 10, passing the ball off the mark for Lagway. There's been a couple throws to the outside that just have come up a little bit short. 2nd and 10, 2 spread either side. He will continue to look for that pass across the middle. Finding Gene, he gets his first catch. He'll bring up a 3rd and 5. Cardinal double A gap, and they quick swing it to the outside. A perfect play call to beat the blitz. Rico Cote late to get out there, whether that was man or zone. Just a great play call. Good read from Lagway, and they go back to the outside. No one sat on the underneath and almost flipped. Goes Webb. So while the accuracies haven't been great, the decision-making has been for Lagway. He's got motion as they fake the jet sweep, hand it off. Quick stop from Nicholson. Running back 2 checked in there to give Webb a breather, though Webb back out here for 2nd and 7. As they'll go out on some routes. Mesh across the middle actually opens up for Hill. He rumbles down inside the red zone. Gators, they are now marching and looking to find the end zone. Making a change here. They're going to send trips to the right-hand side, leaving one to the left. Gene playing some big body slot. Opens the door on the outside, but Hennessy. Great play coming back to it. Barely got a hand on that tail end of the ball. Webb, he takes the carry. Richardson meets him the whole way. Takes a few Cardinal to bring him down. But it is 3rd and 6. Another 3rd down for the Gators. As they look to find a 1st down here. Nelson gets pressure. Picked off by Antonio Asher. It will not be a field goal attempt. We will take over at the 20. Lagway just a little bit late on that read. And Paolo Alto is hopping right now as the offense can hit the field up by a field goal in possession. They get motion here from McCoy. Parrish to the left-hand side, and he's got a few. Already at 7 carries today. And now we're going to see Montrell Dog hit the field. Lucas to help lead the way, the power back, and he's got the 1st down. Strong running out the gate here for the Cardinal, though of course 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen are all seniors. Flipping this one now out, he's got Dog, and he truck sticks the safety. That's the big difference between him and Parrish. 2nd and 1, and they don't get the Mike linebacker. Dog close to the 1st down. Refs don't give it to him. They'll just march the same unit right back out there with 3rd and millimeters. Lucas and Dog left side. Dog's got the 1st down with a gain of about 6. There really was no guessing on that one. Knew exactly what they were gonna do. RPO here. Parrish takes a handoff. He beats the safety out of the backfield, and it's a quick burst for 5. 2nd and 5, now into plus side. Parrish the running back. Good pressure on the outside and couldn't get back to the line. Brown is dropped by Fernandez. 2-minute warning hits. 3rd and 9. Back on the other side of the 50. Drifting back and having McCoy, the corner coming across. He could have had a pick, but I don't think anyone in a Gator uniform yelled ball. He had no idea that pass was thrown. It's a 1st down for the Cardinal. About a minute and a half left in this half. Rolling, tossing this one up and tipped away, intended for Buck. That one a little bit of a prayer ball. Probably needed a little bit more height on it for extra safety. 2 receivers to the right-hand side, 2 tight ends to the left. It's more play action and throwing it out and picked off. 27 jumps it in Johnson. And he scampers out before still taking the hit, quite honestly, at the 35. You saw what Brown was looking for there, but you got to put more height under that one. That'll give us our first official Gator chomp of this game. A big interception. Now can Lagway build upon it? Well, he nearly threw a pick ball of his own. Only thing that saved him was the fact our defense didn't yell ball. Camp, no idea that ball was out. He makes the quick stop. 2nd and 9. Nelson, he's trying to get back there. Lagway, he bounces it and gets out of bounds, avoiding contact. We know Lagway can scramble. Saw it in the stats. Got to keep contained there if you're Nelson. As they'll look to continue passing this ball, and this time Nelson rips him down. Cardinal forced the timeout to be called their 2nd and 20. They got 1:07 left, 2 more timeouts. And pass across the middle. Hit cannot jar it away. Big plays go back and forth. They find Hill with the strong hands. Timeout called there. They got one more remaining, about a minute on the clock. They only rush 3. Nelson forces him back towards the middle. Richardson with the slide. And while it's decent contained that time, they prefer not to give up any amount of yards. Across the middle, and they find 4, and 4 find 6. Taking the lead. The Gators capitalize off the interception on the deep pass. They go up 10-6. DJ Abrams with the ball from Lagway. And that leaves the Cardinal with 20 seconds. Now, can they find something to do here? Try to get a field goal? Draw this thing a little bit closer? Well, we'll find out here, as barely getting that one off Brown. Pressure almost got back there half a step sooner. Who knows? Maybe that is a fumble. 2nd and 10 here. Cardinal downfield. Blausay gets the catch, and he's down. Timeout called, 10 seconds left. They're still a pretty good distance away from field goal range of Etienne. He's already hit a 51-yarder. 2 go to the left-hand side, 1 to the right. This play developing a little bit more than they would hope. It's out for Haddad and tipped away with 5 seconds. So it looks like Hail Mary versus the prevent. Can Brown find a big play here? Just a 3-man rush. And he releases it. This ball is going to travel to about the goal line. Flag comes down. Are they going to call a DPI here? Though it's not a spot foul in college football. Cardinal will take the extra yards, and it is a free play here. So now they flip it. They send all the receivers to the left-hand side. Still the prevent defense. And now it's out. Towards the end zone, a second flag comes in. I mean, it's Hail Marys. I feel like at some point you got to stop calling these. But it does provide the opportunity here for Etienne, a second 51-yard attempt. And he pulls it to the left. So gifted with the opportunity, we do not take advantage. And as halftime hits, it is 10-6. Gators the only one to find the end zone. But in a way, you feel like the Cardinal offense a little bit more well-rounded, hitting things a little bit more consistently. They just haven't found a big play. Elijah Brown only hitting about 56%, 9 of 16, under 100 yards throwing, and he does have that interception. Meanwhile, Lagway, 10 of 16, 147 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Trayon Webb has hit a couple big rushes. Meanwhile, the Cardinal being a lot more efficient with their attempts. And it's Blausay for the Cardinal that lead them in receiving. Hill for the Gators with a couple big grabs in that first half. And it's going to be up to the defense to continue trying to make some big plays, as it will be Gator ball to start the second half. Win or go home. Webb takes the carry, and he's met by Roseboom. He is 100% a run stopper, and he makes the play there. Maybe a gain of 1 on first. Going back to the passing plays, and Hennessy's close. But Gene had him beat that time by half a step. 1st and 10 for the Gators. Play action. Sucking down the linebackers, but not enough time to let the receivers open up. Cardinal gets some pressure, and that ball hits the grass. 2nd and 10. Webb in the backfield as they drive it into the outside, and getting the catch is Abrams. He is the only touchdown on the day for either team. 3rd and 6, bringing the pressure. They get the ball out. Is kind of a delayed halfback screen, staying on his feet. Webb still rumbling down to the 30. A blown play there for the Cardinal. They had the pressure, but just one guy leaked out, no one left to help contain. That's how the Gators have extended their drives today. It's been the 3rd down conversions. Lagway still making changes here, not exactly hurry up following that big play. He takes the read option for 3. With him going back to the spread look here, Cardinal got to find a way to start getting a little bit more pressure. Tunnel screen, perfect blocking. Abrams hurdles some down players for the first. Gators building a strong drive here out the gate for the second, already up by 4. They look to pass the ball here, and they find their guy chopped out but rolling on top of the bodies. Livingston into the end zone. Gators take a 2-score lead here to open up the second half. Now that missed field goal before halftime looming large. That is the difference in this being a 1-2 score game. Offense out here. Starting at the 25. Quick motion from Haddad. Pass across the middle. Buck holds on to it. And it looks like the offense going in hurry up here. They are down 17-6, perhaps trying to get the game back in their hands here. A little bit of some momentum. Across the middle they go Haddad. He's got the first down up to the 40 and right back onto it. Going to keep with that same look. Lucas, the fullback. They've started to use the fullback a little bit more the last few weeks. Parrish takes the carry. It's a limited game. But they'll finally let their guys catch their breath after that one. 2nd and 8 as they go play action. To the outside. Buck with the grab. Cardinals starting to open up the playbook a little bit here, answering to the 2-score deficit. As they go across the middle, Haddad couldn't squeeze it. That has been a common occurrence this year. Drops from the receivers. That has not been the case here for the Gators today, as they're all over the tight end screen. That leaves the Cardinal here with a 3rd and 10. They come out with 2 receivers either side. Hard count from Brown, no one jumps. Gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. And he's gonna try to do it with his legs. 4th and 3, another 51-yarder. Coach Barrington doesn't think so, and Gordon Draft is in the game at QB. Hard count, he gets someone to jump. That'll be a free play, but Parrish, he's got the first down anyway. Cardinal down about red zone area, just outside the 20. Draft keeps this one. He's got some blocks downfield. Couldn't slip in between. 24 with a potential touchdown saving tackle. The Cardinal down inside the 10, needing to answer. They get motion here, and a great stop on the end. 59 just called with the offsides or encroachment. He makes the play to answer back. Brown is back in there at quarterback, was out there for the previous play. It's 2nd and 13. Motion on the left-hand side. Rolling that way. Drags over the defenders, but he couldn't get the ball to Haddad. It was smart there from Brown. Used that mobility to his advantage. It just didn't have the follow through. And rolling around, trying to find somewhere to go. Lofted pass. He should have thrown it hard and towards the ground. But ultimately, it will have to be another field goal attempt here with a 4th and 13. ETN with another field goal, but this is becoming quite a long time between touchdowns. If pace continues here and they don't find one within this quarter, it will be 7 quarters since the last touchdown for the Cardinal. Read option Lagway, and all over it is Camp. This Cardinal defense have already forced a turnover today, but they could definitely use with another. Interception, fumble, whatever it be. As Nelson gets back there, but ball is out. And it's Gene with another grab across the middle. 3rd and 4. Cardinal got to get off the field here. 2 to left-hand side, plus the tight end, and just a step underneath. Gene all the way down to the opposite 34. Nearly picking that one off was Richardson. If he just had a 6 inches to the top of him, or I don't know, just got there half a step early, that's a pick headed the opposite way. But now Gene back again. He's got the first down. Gators inside the 25. Cardinal gotta make a play here. Momentum building and dropped. Heard the footsteps. We'll count that as a little bit of a win here. 2nd and 10. 2 spread either side. Quick throw to the outside and knocked away. I went for Hill, who has had a couple big grabs in this one. 3rd and 10. It's an empty set. As they drop back looking to pass this ball, rolling and sack from Nelson. 4th and 17. They do still sit inside field goal range, and this one is a straight shot for Wilkins. He doesn't have to snap this ball until there is no time on the play clock, but he will, and he'll send it slightly leaning to the left, erasing the field goal we just got back to a 2-score game. Cardinal did start to open up their offense last drive, as we have just 11 seconds here left in the 3rd. They're going to start to open this thing up a lot more if they're going to find some big plays. And across downfield, Blouse drops it. Both he and Gene had touchdown plays. Well, at least it's evened itself up, but that's a big blow here for the Cardinal. They go back his way and tipped away. Oh, the final play here of the 3rd quarter. They've got to at least get that first down. Hard count, no one jumps for Brown, and they go Blousset, and he drops it again. It'll be Gator ball as we start the fourth quarter. 3 big opportunities for Blousset, and he comes up empty each time. And hopefully for the crowd here in Palo Alto, that is not the big decisive play of this game. They're going to need their defense to get the ball back and get it back quickly. Lagway has them at the 39 to start. Motion here to the outside goes Webb, still looking to pass this ball, and over the top, they've got him, headed downfield and dragged down at the 10. Defense has started to play a lot more press, and they beat him over the top. 1st and 10, Lagway. Across the middle and tipped away Sumlin. Defense has to find a way to get a pick. They found one in the first half, similar area of the field. 2nd and goal for Lagway. He hands this one off, and Webb's chopped out by Coat. 3rd and 10. Have to at least force the field goal here, though. Again, obviously, turnover would be massive for the Cardinal. With trips to the left-hand side, and now Lagway scrambling, getting the tackle in open space, Richardson. This to make it 23-9. And around the edge and off the bar, no good. Cardinal will take over at the 20, a massive break. And they've got to use that, build upon it, and find the end zone. They got 7 minutes left in this game. Under pressure, Brown goes nowhere. Miles Graham all over him. The lanes have not been open long in the passing game. Draft back in at quarterback, and he's tackled from behind. That leaves 3rd and quite a long distance. They need the 30. Letting this one develop, and under pressure, no time to throw. They ran deep curls. And with limited time left here, do you try to go for it, set them up, or do you punt and hope your defense can make a play? Well, it will be the offense out there. 4th and 19. Hard count. It will be a free play at the minimum, as it's out for the freshman and through his hands. It's quite a good thing they got that free play. This one we can accept, but we've got to find the first down here to spread either side. Hard count, no one jumps, no free play. They've got to have it as it's back out for the freshman. He gets the grab this time. Game not over. About 5.5 minutes. Cardinal have got to find the end zone. Simple as that. It's been way too long. And good coverage on the outside. Rolling, throwing, and penalty down. It looked like Harvin tried to turn around to get the grab. He was pulled, and it's going to be DPI. Cardinal have found a couple lucky calls in this one. Just got to start taking advantage of them. As he's under pressure, throws it weak side. No one there. There should be a penalty. Well, luckily for us, there is none given for intentional grounding. Perhaps he got just outside the tackle box. Across the middle and dropped McCoy. Big miss yet again. 3rd and 10. It's an empty set. And covered up pretty well. Coming across, they've got Haddad. There's just not enough time. So once again, it is 4th down. 4th and 10. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Hard count, nearly getting someone to jump. Hard count again, no one jumps. They are going to snap it. Got to get the first down here. Throwing short, Blousset was open. It's a turnover on downs. That might be a big one here. 5:16 left. Defense has to pick up some stops. Webb down the middle, fighting for every yard. You will pick up 7 on first. Cardinal trying to keep their season alive, and that's going to be a free play. Gene will take him down to about the 26. Rico Coat jumped early, they can decline. But we got 14 seniors here who are trying to keep their careers going. Can they make some big plays? They need help from everyone else around them. And way too over the top. Try to take advantage of us biting on a run. They miss Hill. Webb hops over the tackle, and he picks up 2. Now with that missed field goal earlier, things still kind of in play here for the Cardinal if they could force another. As Webb takes it, getting dragged down Nelson, they lose 2. And Wilkins heading back out with another straight shot. This time kicking it at the 26, a 36-yarder. And he's got it up and through. It's now a 14-point game. 3:39 left. Cardinal do have all their timeouts. They have not found the end zone in quite some time. Taking a shot downfield. Haddad gets the grab. Talk about back shoulder. That's more like a back ankle throw. And they're going to get hurry up right thereafter. The cornerback, I don't think he ever knew that ball was thrown. Keeping 2 to the left-hand side, 3 to the right, and across the middle, ball gets there late. That's been the problem here today, Brown. Just the ball not quite getting to his receivers. There have been some drops when he has gotten it there. As that ball is out, Blouse has the catch, but not in bounds. What a miss there. Cardinal nearly had it. 3rd and 10. They keep with the empty look here. Brown, he's going to run this one. Sliding down with a first down and hurry up yet again. Cardinal, they need this end zone. As the clock about to tick under 3 here. 1st and 10, they need 2 touchdowns. And pressure from behind, reading it or feeling it is Brown. He's going to scramble for a few. And look at his boys right back to the line. Need to find this end zone. Under pressure again, he slips the tackle. He looks to bounce it to the outside. He doesn't quite have the speed for that, but he makes do with what he does have. Still needing this end zone. Making some quick changes. He's still got 30 seconds before the break. And bad ball. Misread. Blouse was open underneath. That might be the nail in the coffin here for the Card. Great coverage. Had the guy stopped underneath if he got the catch. Obviously the coverage from the guy behind, and Webb takes this carry for the first down. Ball pops out, and Cardinal couldn't jump on it. Pretty sure he was down, so this one will go ahead and be reversed. It's just one of those opportunities that did present itself. Cardinal didn't take advantage. 1st and 10, inside 2 minute. Webb with space. Camp with a clean tackle. Timeout called for the Card. They need a miracle here in Palo Alto. Down 2 touchdowns, minute 56 and counting. As Webb takes it down the middle, met again Richardson. Well, the game rests on this play. Cardinal will need a stop. If they do not get it, it is game. Lagway hands it off to Webb. Sumlin gets the stop. Timeout called. Now you need 2 touchdowns with no timeouts. The offense takes the field at the 38. Brown has another opportunity, at least one more drive left in his career. And he makes something happen here. Well, he's just going to scramble, get what he can. It's better than just sitting back there while no one gets open. Going to get everyone back to the line. Again, Cardinal need 2 touchdowns here late on. Under pressure. They're going to count that as a fumble. Pale gets on it. I'm assuming because the ball went backwards, they count it as such. It looked like that arm was coming forward. 3rd and 16. Got to find something here, and receiver is open. Getting the catch is the return man. It's all hands on deck here to try to make something happen. 44 seconds. Need a touchdown, need an onside, need a touchdown to tie. No rest here, and under pressure, sack. That's the transfer left tackle, and Odie Nigbun giving that one up. We now move inside 30 seconds. With a 3rd and long, or 2nd and long, it's out for Haddad, and great job from the cover man. And with 3rd and now 19, we have a large switch around here. We got a backup quarterback in at receiver. Guys we haven't seen on the field out there just because everyone is gassed. Throw to the outside, and that will do it. Davis gets a 2nd pick. Gators win. Cardinal come up short here in the playoffs, but they do make it to the playoffs, and that is a great building point here for Coach Barrington. It's just his 4th year in charge. He's turned this program around. The biggest problem this year has been the offense, and that's what we saw these last 2 games. They could not find the end zone. When they were forced to go downfield, get out of their game plan, the offense fell apart. And Gators, they took advantage of that. But for the graduating seniors, they made the playoffs. Well, for Joe Nelson, not a senior, but a junior, he at least takes home the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week from that college football playoff, and there were other Pac-12 teams playing. But ultimately, our season comes up short of our ultimate goal, which was winning the Natty. And with how this season started, I am still very happy with what we were able to accomplish. By our second bye week here, in between the Oregon and UCLA games, there was a lot of questions surrounding this team. We were 2-3. We picked up a big win against Baylor early on. We dominated against Army, who we expected to, but they finished the year ranked 20, so that was still a pretty good win. We threw away the game against Arizona State, and we struggled to score against Oregon. After that, though, we would not be stopped until today. So there is a lot of good offense. While it definitely weaved and wove through good play and bad play, there was some highlights this year and some things that we definitely learned. And I think the biggest thing we learned was from this receiving group and why there was such an emphasis in the recruiting to bring in some more talent. Bryce Haddad, I think, is a really good player if you utilize him correctly. He was a 4-star recruit. He's going to be heading into his senior year. Time has flown by, and he's pretty much polished as best as he's going to be. I'm hoping we get a little bit more from the deep and medium route running, because those still are pretty raw in the grand scheme of things. He's got good release. He's got fantastic short route running 99, which is why we switched the offense to that short, quick passing game to best fit him, because none of our other receivers had this kind of talent, and the offense moved when we weren't forced to throw downfield. When we were forced to throw downfield, we have a couple guys here with some decent release, but from our main guys, Ed Keenan, only an 80. Well, I'll say 84, but he also struggled with a lot of drops. His catching is only an 82. Meanwhile, the catch and traffic and spec catch are good. He just didn't have that kind of opportunity. The route runnings were raw for a lot of these guys as well. So we fit the offense towards Haddad, and it fixed some things up. I think the biggest thing that we need to take into account moving forward is, one, we are about to lose most of our starting offensive line, 4 of our 5 starters, if I'm not mistaken, depending on what Anodi Nigbun decides to do. But I think no matter who you have starting on the offensive line, considering how good of an offensive line we actually do have, you have to have mobility in at quarterback. That is why we started to switch around some quarterbacks. We'll have Nick Terrell for next year. Elijah Brown will be graduating. Draft will probably be switching positions. Most likely the same for Trey Sutton, Azuma, maybe even Avant. We'll take a look in the offseason. We need a guy with ability to run around back there, even if it's rotational wise. And running back wise, we're going to be back with this next same pair, Parrish and Dog, as long as no one declares for the draft. And defensively, again, as long as no one declares for the draft, we will only be losing one starter, and that is Benedict Ume. Now, while Ume and Howerton played great the last couple of years, this year, not so much. When it came to TFLs, Howerton did have 8. That's a lot better than a lot of other players. Ume had 5. But combined, they only had 2 sacks. We had no rush down the middle, which is why it was great that we had so much good play coming from the linebackers and the edge. Joe Nelson finishes with 32 TFLs, 21 for Sony Fotu, and what is a down year for him, still really good for most players. Rico Cote had 12. Sack-wise, Nelson 15, 7 for Fotu, but then that steep drop-off, so whenever they weren't hitting, there was no pass rush. Interception leader is tie between Cote and Antonio Asher. And I think Asher by far is the most improved or bounce back player of the year for us. He was not good last year. And this year he was nearly a lockdown corner. I'm hoping the same thing happens for Hennessy. As for tackle leader, that is Rico Cote by a good margin. Both Richardson and Cote will be back next year. Offensively, Elijah Brown, he finishes with more interceptions thrown than touchdowns, and I feel like that became quite apparent. Terrell, he's at a good spot this year. I hope he sees some good growth. We do have a 5-star quarterback coming in. 6 touchdowns for him to 2 interceptions. We know he could run around a little bit. And Avant, as mentioned, he might be switching to receiver. We saw him play a little bit of that the last couple games. Parrish had a good year. Dog had a really good year. I think we're really good at running back. Receivers, Haddad finishes with 780 yards, 5 touchdowns. Ed Keenan, surprisingly, the touchdown receiving leader, despite having almost half the amount of catches or even targets as Haddad. The biggest problem with this group, it was the drops. Haddad had 9, Blousay had 9, and I honestly don't even think this is keeping track of all of them. But it was a young, inexperienced group, and they're only going to get better. And getting better is exactly what I plan to do next episode. So make sure you hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down at the sub button and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these next videos come out, when all my videos come out. We'll have the off season up next. I imagine it's probably going to be pretty quick to get through. We already did all of our recruiting outside of portal players, so expect some portal news. But I think the big thing is going to be getting this roster dialed up and finding an offense that best fits for the players. It took us a third of the season to do that this year. We still made the playoffs. Imagine what we could do if we do that from the beginning.